Soul Simmers, my name is Darth Jeswick and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be building Schrute Farms from The Office. This is the 2 Old Mill Lane lot. It's a 50 by 40 lot in Henford on Bagley. And yeah, we are just jumping right into the speed build here. We've already got the shape of the building kind of hashed out. It's a very simple, very basic farmhouse layout in my opinion. We're going to be using a lot of cottage living and cats and dogs, as well as the horse ranch pack, because Dwight himself has 8 3/4 horses, I believe. There's a lot of lore in this farm just from the show itself, and I think it's hilarious. I tried to include some of it. We'll get to that once we actually start doing more landscaping and more decorating, so I'll kind of explain that later. After the video is done, I'm going to try to insert a picture of what it looks like in real life. It's not an exact replica, obviously, but I think it's pretty close. Now, in the show, it says it's a 9-bedroom farmhouse. In this house, I only have 4 bedrooms, and 2 of them are from the bed and breakfast. We have the irrigation room and nighttime themed room. And then I think the 3rd bedroom was America themed, so I just did the nighttime and irrigation. You might be able to see them already on the lot, but I did get a Dwight and Mose off the gallery from Amy Rose 1401, and they are very scarily accurate Sims for Mose and Dwight, so I downloaded them instead of making them myself, because I always have trouble making Sims look like celebrities. Like, CAS is just not my strong suit. I consider myself to be more of a builder. I don't really do a ton of CAS unless I'm creating like my tester sims, which most of the time I just kind of like randomize my sims. I don't really care a whole lot about like what they're wearing. You know, they're just there to help out. But we're moving on to the barn right now. I'm trying to do some kind of funky things with the roof to make it look more barn-like. And in the barn, I'm actually going to put a small workout area just so that Mose and Dwight can come up here and, you know, pump some iron. And I'm also going to include a small basement underneath the barn because Dwight makes his own beet wine, so he can do that down there in the cellar. I don't actually know if beets are a real thing in The Sims, but, you know, we can pretend. Dwight has goats and chickens, so we'll also include that in here. I believe he also has a cow. I'm not really sure though. I do give him one just for fun. We can also make it a llama. That also just seems like a very Dwight Schrute thing to have, is a llama. Moving back to the house though, we're working on the floor plan for the upstairs. We've got the 2 smaller bedrooms and then 2 larger bedrooms for Dwight and Mose. And then the master bedroom is Dwight's, and he also has his own ensuite bathroom. And I also included a 3rd bathroom downstairs just for the space because we had a little bit of extra and I wanted to use up as much as I could. And this hallway back here was just going to nothing, so I figured why not put a bathroom there. And then for the downstairs, we have the living room off to the left and the kitchen and dining room off to the right. I'm really just guessing with the floor plan here. I couldn't find an actual floor plan for it. And as far as like the outside of the house goes, this picture that I have up in the corner is probably the best picture that I could have had. I couldn't find any full-size pictures of it anywhere that were like actually decent quality and not like super pixelated and showed like the whole house and not just like a small portion of it. Right now we're moving on into the kitchen. I'm using the refrigerator from the Country Kitchen kit. That's like a mouthful to say. And then the cottage living counters in like a foresty green color. I ended up putting an island in the kitchen as well. I did end up like replacing the window with 2 smaller ones because it looked a little bit better on the outside, and that way I didn't have to like cover up that window with the countertops. I also added in the mixer and a coffee maker. Dwight does a lot of preparing his own meat, so you can do that on the mixer. We're going back outside now. I do have a problem with like staying on like one thing, so I kind of switch between landscaping and like furnishing a lot. I've been trying to work on like doing the whole house furnishing first or just the landscaping first, but I always end up like going back and forth between the 2. Overall, I kept the landscaping by the house pretty simple. I used a bunch of these bushes because they cover up the foundation pretty well and they take up a lot of space. And I also feel like Dwight would take pretty good care of his shrubbery. In the show, they have quite a long driveway. I didn't really have the room for that on this lot, unfortunately, so I just put like a small one here, and then we'll put like the cars and stuff off to the side. And by cars, I just mean like the farm truck, because I couldn't find a car that looked like his Trans Am that was like boxy enough. Like the cars that we do have are kind of like very rounded, so I just decided to put a farm truck instead. We also have a little birdhouse, and then this hay bale cart from Cottage Living, and then I'm also going to use this big horse ranch sign that your Sims can walk underneath to get inside the yard. And then I also gave them a horse trailer. At first I was going to put the wine stuff upstairs in the barn, and then I remembered that your wine actually ages faster in a basement, so I put all the stuff down there instead. And then for the upstairs, I'm just going to put like some workout equipment up there. And then I'm also going to use this brick from Dine Out that's kind of moldy and like dirty, so it looks like nobody's really cleaned the walls in a long time. And the flooring is just a base game stone that they recently did a recolor of, which is really nice. I think it goes decently well with the basement. Then I also added a few of the clutter items from the Horse Ranch pack in the barn while I was there, before I added a bunch of the wine stuff. I think this is all that I really put in here. Maybe I used those wine barrels, I can't really remember, and then some wine racks of the red wine because it's beets. We're gonna move back into the living room now though. We've got this small little arrangement here. I'm using these two couches from Cats and Dogs, and then I'm also gonna use the Cats and Dogs fireplace. I really like the brick on it. Unfortunately, we don't have a matching one, so I actually used one from Vampires, and then I'm gonna use this Growing Together rug to match our couches and bring out some of the blue tones from the pillows. I'm also going to add one of the upright pianos from Horse Ranch, and then a couple of bookcases just to fill up some of the space over here. This living room is quite large compared to like the dining room or the kitchen. Before I started putting up some paintings and pictures, this is the one from the Paranormal pack. It kind of looks like it belongs on like a staircase, so that's where I usually put it if I am able to. And then we also have a couple of diagrams and family photos in the background because I feel like the Schrute family has a pretty well documented history. Dwight talks a lot about it in the show, so I wanted to put tons of pictures of old people or old family members. And in the dining room, I'm using this big table from the Cats and Dogs pack along with the matching chairs. I just think it's really fitting. It's like a very country table. Like it almost looks like something your Sim could have made themselves. And in just a moment, we'll be getting to the master bedroom and Moses' room. I didn't actually show myself building the two smaller bedrooms. This house took me about 4.5 hours to build, so it was just going to be a really ridiculously long speed build if I did leave that in. Currently, we're working on Dwight's room. I gave him this Cats and Dogs bed as well as a Horse Ranch dresser. Seems so weird to say Horse Ranch dresser, like horse ranch dressing. I also gave him this nice little mirror as well as a couple of plants from the basement kit as well as for rent. I forgot I had like the worst horse glitch that I've ever had in this game. You'll see it when I'm playtesting the build at the end of the video, but it just like stopped moving and it was like on its side. It's so weird. It ran around like that for a solid like 2 or 3 minutes too. I don't know why. And then the last things I added to Dwight's room were a couple of lamps, and then I started working on Moses' room. Gave him the same bed as Dwight, just with a different swatch. But I am going to give him a different dresser just because I feel like they would have different ones. Maybe not, but you never know. We don't see Moses' room at all in the show, so I don't think it really matters. And if you want to get technical, the only other bedroom that we see in the house is the irrigation room that Pam and Jim stayed in that one episode where Dwight was running a bed and breakfast. But that is just about all for today's speed build. We'll be getting to the tour in just a few moments. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out. I try to upload a couple videos a week, so subscribe and hit the bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in the next video. Dag dag!